I went and found a second-hand bookshop that I had not discovered before, so that was really exciting, and I came away with 2 books, and these are the books. They are from around, well, they're early 20th century, so I think one is 1915 and the other one is 1911, so they are antique, and I think they've got lovely covers. So this one, I thought, is the perfect title for a journal. You know, you can put all your golden deeds in there, and the cover's just lovely, sort of Art Nouveau feel to it, which is in keeping with its vintage. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to make it into an altered book journal. That's the inscription, so 1915. I'll take all these pages out. They're a bit sort of worthy and old-fashioned, and the pictures are not particularly great. So I'll probably take most of this out and replace it with journaling paper, note paper, and also watercolour paper, so it could be an art journal. So I can't wait to do this one. I haven't made one of these in such a long time. And this one is called An Original Girl, so I thought it would be a great title for an altered book journal of my own. So this is the latest one I'm going to be doing, and what I intend to do is show you how I prep it first of all. And let's see if there's an inscription. Yes, inscription in this one is 1911, so it could be older than that, of course, and I think it may have had gilded pages at one point. So with this one, I'll be prepping it, which basically means removing some of the pages. But what I'll do is I'll stop now and check that this is all working, and then the next in just a moment for you guys, you will see me come back and I will show you how I start preparing my vintage books to be used as altered book journals. So see you in a minute. Okay, so here is my book. Got myself a cup of coffee, so I'm good to go. So what I normally do is, whenever I'm looking for a book to use, you probably know this, but it needs to be a sewn in book, and the old ones usually are, although the really old ones can sometimes be stapled together, which is quite brutal. But yeah, this one is, you see, this is sewn in stitches. So what I would normally do is take away roughly a third of pages, because if I'm going to be sticking them together and putting mixed media on them, they're going to sort of plump out. So what I want to do is give myself enough room for that. So now, looking at this one, I kind of want to keep these end papers. I definitely want to keep the inscription. Not too fussed about that, but I like the preface, or whatever you call it, the one that gives you all the publishing details. I'd like to keep that. And also I like to keep a contents page so that I can come back in at the end and I can gesso it out and put my own page numbers in. So that will stay. Not so fussed on that. So what I might do is I might stick those 2 pages together. And already we've come to our middle. So I think I'm going to be forced to keep I'm going to be forced to keep this first signature. because I like to take them away from the middle, and I'll show you that on the next one. So we'll just skip past these. Can't find it. This is the next. Oh no, not that one. This is the next one. See? Ding, ding, ding. So you want to come to the middle of a signature, and what I normally do is I just kind of do this like this, and I'll keep that. And I think I'll take another one out. Oh well, look. If you're making an omelette, you're going to break eggs. So this method normally works quite well, but older pages, they might be fragile, you'll see. So they might tear, but I'm not using that one, so hey ho. Now, how many have I got? Will I take another 2 out? Just looking to see. I think I'll keep them. And then I'm on to the next signature. Do you see? I'm on to my next signature. I need to find the middle. There it is. And I'm going to take 2 out of here. Just for starters. I might take more as I go along. There are other ways of doing it. I quite like to do it this way. Okay, so that's send it out. And the other thing is that I like to do it as I go. Yeah, so I'll do the first few, and then what I'll do is I'll do it as I go, but it's roughly, I take about a third out. Some people will go through the whole book, but I find it a bit tedious, and it doesn't give me flexibility, because sometimes I might look and see a page I want to keep, like for instance I might want to keep this photo, so I wouldn't then remove it, if you see what I mean. So I like to give myself options, especially at the start. So looking at this, what I'll probably do now off camera is I will probably stick these two together, and that will give me a sturdy page there and a sturdy page there, and this will be my first spread. Yeah, and so I'll come back when I've done that and I'll show you my next step, and hopefully I'll be able to do a spread today. Exciting. Haven't done art for such a long time, let alone altered book art, so I will see you in just a moment. Hi there. So you'll see that I have gessoed out what I want to. This page has been stuck down, and I'm using the pages that I removed from the original book to protect the other pages, and I've gessoed around. So I found a phrase and a word that I wanted to keep in. I don't know if you can read that. It says, "Things are sometimes found beyond." So I thought that was interesting. I don't put too much thought into it when I do this. I look at things that stand out to me. The actual text itself was rather dreary, actually. It was talking about an urban landscape, and there was nothing in there that really inspired me. So I just took these words out. And if they hadn't been there, I would not use any words. That's just how I do it. So so I was thinking about what to do on this spread, and I've got this image on Pinterest of a sort of, I think it's a yoga pose, and I just liked it because I've done this pose myself. I really like the pose. I've forgotten what it's called. But it balances your mind, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to draw this. I'm actually probably thinking it's probably a bit too difficult, but I'm going to have a go. What I also liked about the picture was the light, on the side of her face, you know, and I liked her hair. So that's that one. And I also found this picture of a candle online, which I really like because it's got that blue at the bottom and then it comes up. So what I'm thinking I might do is I might put a candle here and have my yoga girl, and then it'll be the light from the candle will be lighting up her face. It'll be the right direction and everything. Oops, there you can see it. It'll be the right direction. So I guess what I'll do first of all is go and get my pencils and I'll sketch in something. Eek. I've probably done, it's probably a bit tricky, isn't it? But anyway, I have, and also what I've noticed as well is that the hand goes off the picture, so I'll probably have to find some hand reference for a hand going up. Maybe I'll just take what I often do actually is take a picture of my own hand, so that's what I might do. Alright, I shall be back soon. So before I go any further, I just wanted to show you my palette, and I find these in junk shops and I get them for about $1. These, in a previous life, this would have been used for dipping sauces, so it just makes a handy palette for acrylic or for watercolour. You can get a nice bit of colour going in there for watercolour, and with acrylic it will just dry and I can peel it off. So I just wanted to show you that as an aside. So what I'll do is I will start drawing, and I'll probably speed it up because otherwise it's going to be too long, this video. So I will just get on with it now, and hopefully you'll be able to see all right, and if not, I'll have to, I don't know, I'll make it up as I go along. So I'm thinking that the background, I want the background to be quite dark. So I'm going to use lovely Payne's Grey. So I've got a bit here, I want to make it. So thing about putting it on is, you know, I never really know how dark it's going to be. That's just, yeah. And also I use so many different types of paint, I never know if they're going to go well together. So Okay, so while I'm waiting for this to dry, I thought I'd show you my recent find from a junk shop. I don't quite know what it was originally, but it makes the perfect paintbrush holder. So I can put my brushes out like this, and even if they had paint on, I could put them there. So there. So at this point, there's just one thing I want to point out, which I think is quite liberating, and that is, if you look at these hands that I've done, they're nowhere near perfect. I could spend hours trying to get those hands perfect, but I'm not going to because life is short and I can't do hands properly yet, so I'm happy with that level. So what I'm trying to say to you is, if you're always striving for perfection, you're just not going to progress with your art, in my opinion. And even really accomplished artists, if you look at their hands, they're not always perfect hands, but you know, the whole point is to practice and to create. So I find it liberating to not strive for perfection, and it gives me much more time to actually paint. So anyway, I am now going to attempt to do some skin tone. You can see that I've put in a bit of shadow very lightly using Payne's Grey. That's obviously going to be my shadow colour. And if you look on, let me show you, on the reference photo, because this is a mixed media piece, I can come in and get that very light line. I can use Posco if I want to, or gesso on the final layer, you see. So what I do now is you can't see it, but I've got that picture, that reference picture, propped up just over there. And I'm going to try and make some skin flesh. Oh yeah, so the colours that I'm using: Flesh Tint from Winsor & Newton, and I also find that this one works quite well as well, Buff Titanium plus white gesso, and we can see what we get. Bearing in mind that you can change it. If you don't like it, you can go in and do another layer. So I've coloured in, shaded in the face and her top. The original was white, but I decided to make it a sort of turquoisey, what do you call it, teal colour. And at this point, because it's mixed media, I don't have to keep on working with the acrylics. So I can now, what I think I'm going to do is come in with watercolour pencil to define some of these areas and do a bit more shading. And yeah, so that's the plan at the moment. Background, I might put stars, which I might do with white Posca, possibly. This bit of the candle needs to be white, and this needs to be a more bluey kind of blue, less teal, more blue, I think. But I wanted to have that base layer, I wanted it to all tone in together. That's why for the candle I used the buff titanium. So again, it should all blend in, and that's a trick that I learnt from, I think it was Gulf Sprite, who said you can mix the colours, and if you keep mixing them from the colours on your palette, they should all tone in. So, so her hair, the colour used there was part Payne's grey, part turquoise, to get that sort of darker colour. So as I say, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with pencil, watercolour pencil, and liner pen and Posca to finish her off. So coming in now just to show the finished page. I finished it a while ago, but I haven't had time to come in and record it to show you what I did for the finishing stages. So basically I coloured in with acrylics, quite watery acrylics I tend to use, and then I've gone round the edge using an acrylic pen in a nice, I really love this blue colour. It's not coming out very well in the video. Let's try to get closer. It's a real sort of electric, whoops, that's better. It's a sort of electric blue colour, and you can see also here that I've used a liner pen just to line through her strands of her hair, and the same on her eyelashes. I considered going round her arms, but I didn't in the end. You can see where I've put a highlight of colour on her cheek and here where the lights, I've done that in just using gesso with a fine brush, and I did the candle like this. I don't know how effective it has been. It's not bad for what I wanted, and yeah, so that's the finished spread. Finally. Oh, I put stars in, and just very simply, and that's it. So thanks very much for watching, and just to let you know that I'm starting a new Substack called Craftaholics, and so I'll be posting my videos on altered books and all sorts of crafts. I'll be posting them there. I'm also posting them on YouTube, so there'll be two places where people will be able to see what I'm doing and hopefully enjoy the content that I'm producing. I've decided in 2026 to do more of what I love, so this is part of what I love, and I love sharing techniques and what I do. I intend to be strict about this particular altered book journal. I'm going to show you every page that I create. So the next thing I'll do is I'll stick these pages together, and this will be the next spread. I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet, of course, but you'll see it in a video, so watch this space. Please follow, subscribe, share, and also check out Craftaholics on substack. So I'll leave it there. Take care.